Hi, today I'm going to show you how to make these delicious, moist, high-protein cookie bars. I'm Anita from KetogenicWoman.com, where I share keto and carnivore recipes and other cooking ideas. If you're new here, welcome. So happy to see you here. I hope you check out some of my other videos. And if you are returning, welcome back. Glad to see you here as well. And I hope you enjoy today's video. Okay, everybody, I'm making cookie bars today. These happened because I was trying to make something else, which I'm still going to try to make, so I won't talk about that. But these happened, and they were actually quite good, and I thought I better share them. They're made with protein powder, and they are really moist. They're kind of like those magic cookie bars, except that way less ingredients, and pretty sure they're going to be way less in carbs. I am going to figure out the macros and post that down below. Or maybe I'll even have it on the screen. I'll figure them out while they're baking. So we'll get back to that. So let me tell you what is in them. Just regular protein powder. I happen to have Vanilla Quest. So this is the protein powder base for it. You can definitely use Keto Chow, and I've made a couple of batches using Keto Chow. The advantage of Keto Chow is all those different flavors. Also, if you use Keto Chow, you do not have to use the collagen that I'm going to put in here. So, but first, I will show you everything that's going in. We will bake them and all that. But first, I have to melt some butter. So this is like a half a cup of butter or one whole stick. If you get those pounds of butter that are in sticks, it's a whole stick or half a cup. So I'm just going to cut it up so that it fits better in my little beaker here. And this will probably be a minute in the microwave. All right. You can use a beater. I think a beater would probably work best with this, but a blender, I'm sure, would work as well. Or a food processor would also work. Just, you know, I like to think that most of the recipes you can use whatever you have. So I'm going to start putting the other ingredients in. I've got 2 large eggs here. Okay, so there's the butter. I'm going to put that in last once I've got everything else in. So this scoop of vanilla protein powder, I'm using it because I didn't have chocolate. If you have chocolate, this might even be even better. I don't know. I did make some with chocolate Keto Chow, and it was pretty good. Just saying. But all I had for the other protein powder, because I wanted to show that you can make all these recipes that I make with Keto Chow. You can also use the regular protein powder. This is a 30-gram scoop. So the only difference is that I'm using collagen. A lot of people, when I use collagen in a recipe, they ask me if they can leave it out. I'm going to say yes, you can leave it out, but the results are better with the collagen. In the Keto Chow version, I didn't use collagen. Keto Chow seems to have some ingredients in it, like xanthan gum, I think is one, that makes your cookie bar or your cookies, if you make cookies, softer, whereas the regular protein powder doesn't have that. So I highly recommend a scoop of collagen. And collagen is good for us. You know, it's good for our hair and nails and skin. And I have great hopes that it will help me. So I've heard from other people that say that they get good results from it. So I use it any excuse I can get. All right, so the other thing is I'm going to throw in a tablespoon of cocoa powder. And I'm going to put in powdered swerve. You can use, you know, whatever sweetener you have. It doesn't even necessarily have to be powdered. I just like it for baking because it just seems to mix in so nice. So that's what I use for baking. and a couple of tablespoons of brown sugar substitute. Now you can use the regular swerve. I find that in this recipe, the allulose-based brown sugar substitute that I get from Besti, it also has a softening effect, which is good in a cookie bar. But if you don't have it and you just have this one, then use that one. It's still going to be really good. So a couple of tablespoons of that. I think I have all my dry ingredients and my eggs.
I need the beater.
The beater.
There it is.
Oh, and I've prepared my pan just with a piece of parchment paper. In this recipe, I just find it's easier to lift out the parchment paper and then cut the bars up. I've got my oven set to 350, so that's going to take a couple minutes to heat up, but maybe this will be ready to go by then. Okay, so I just wanted to say if you are going to make these using the Keto Chow, I just wanted to let you know that the batter will look a lot thicker than what this is going to look like when you're done. So just thought I'd let you know that so that you wouldn't think something was wrong. It just is a thicker batter. In fact, you'll probably have to scrape it off the beaters, whereas this one, it's a fairly thin batter with the regular protein powder. Okay, so now I'm just going to pour it into the middle of this. And the weight of it will just pull your sheet down. Okay, so we have this in here, and now I'm going to put a couple of tablespoons of chocolate chips. I'm just going to pour them on. Okay, so I've got 2 tablespoons of chocolate chips in here. Now, if you wanted them to taste even more like those magic cookie bars, you could put in some coconut flakes on here, and you could also maybe some chopped pecans or chopped nuts. Walnuts, that would also be really good on here. I am going to just stick with the chocolate chips. And so that's going to go in the oven, and it takes 20 minutes thereabout, although I'm going to check it at about 18, because you want to take them out when it still looks a little, like not when it's starting to look too brown. You want to get them out because you want that bit of gooiness there. So 18 to 20 minutes, this is where you have to kind of know your oven. If your oven runs hot, go low, 15 to 18 minutes, just in case. So I'm going to put these in the oven once it's ready, and we'll see you back here when they come out. Let's see if these look ready. Yes. Okay. So, yep, those are ready. They're starting to get pretty brown around the edges. So, I did figure out the macros while I was waiting for them to bake. So on my last one, I cut it into 12. So hopefully I'll be able to do that I should be able to cut it into 12. It's 110 calories. This is for one piece cut into 12. So if you cut it different, then do it, you'll have to recalculate. So 110 calories, 2.6 total carbs, 1.1 net carbs, 9.7 grams of fat, and 4.6 grams of protein. That'll be listed below again. I'll provide a link to a printable recipe card for this with the Keto Chow variations on it, so you can print that out and keep it. And I'm just waiting for this to cool just slightly before I take it out and cut it up. Okay, so once it's cooled down, what I like to do is flip it over. And the reason I flip it over is because everything, I mean, you can still see a few chocolate chips here, but if you've put nuts in there and coconut and more chocolate chips and whatever you've put on there to make it a magic cookie bar, it will generally sink to the bottom. And so I'm going to try to flip this without breaking it. It is still pretty warm. Okay.
Yeah, I should have waited.
Yes, but it's actually holding up together pretty good. I just don't want to...
There we go.
Okay, it's better if you wait. So then what you can do...
You get the idea here.
I mean, you got lots of nice gooey stuff here that you don't want to lose if you flip it too soon. But then what I do is I use a pizza cutter to cut it into 12. Because it's quite rich. Oh, I think I even did a little more than, okay, well, divide it however you like. I went a little crazy and I've got 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've got 15 pieces, but you'll find that it's quite rich. And so the carb count I gave you is for 12 pieces. So let me just pick a piece up. So you can see it's fairly gooey. And so that's why what you want to do next is scoop this onto a plate and chill it in the fridge. And once you chill it in the fridge, the chocolate chips and everything that's in there kind of like, and the butter, it'll all harden. And what you'll have is sort of a very moist cookie bar. It's quite delicious. It looks like a bit of a train wreck here, but it's actually quite delicious once it's chilled and ready to eat. So yeah, I hope you give that a try. I'm just gonna grab my other plate. So here they are again after they've chilled. You can see they're easy to hold, they've firmed up, they're actually really delicious. So I do hope you give it a try and let me know what you think. And try it with some different flavors too. So we'll see you guys on the next video, and I hope you enjoyed today's cooking.
Once it's cooled down, then you... Oh, sorry, the dog is barking at the garbage truck collectors. The garbage collectors are out there today. I'm gonna have to start that piece over again. And I've got my oven set. Oh, no I don't. I always...